What's up, Journey for Christ family? This video will be talking about my healing process and your healing process and what to start from your healing and from your pain and trauma and with just growing in life. And it's gonna be talking about my testimony, how everything first started and how God has touched me, because I would never got this far if I didn't have people around to touch me and help me be guided. And for me to be able to go far and to see for life, you have to be completely honest with all things. So in this video, I'm gonna be stepping on y'all toes a little bit. So I'll be saying things that y'all probably don't want to hear, but it's best for y'all to hear from somebody. So the verse of the day is James 16, and it says, "Therefore confess your sins to one another and pray to one another that you will be healed." So with that being said, God is really trying to tell us to, like, when you are going for God, that you got to be able to confess yourself, be able to be healed. Or you got to be able to tell people, like, this is where you at, this is where this came from. You got to find the base or the root of where everything has started. Because with me, I know my stuff started when I was in middle school. Like, that's when my pain and stuff started to emerge. And it emerged because when I was first born, I didn't have my father in my life and stuff like that, and I didn't have him in my life because, I mean, he was young. He was big in gangs and all that. So him being my mother, there was a kind of hard stage because my mom, she was going to college. She was seeing the life a little bit, but they met each other. So if anybody that know, being with a father that's into a gang a lot, he's always doing things he shouldn't be doing. I mean, he got locked up several times. He had sex with multiple women just where my other little sisters came from, and I'm the oldest out of 5. And God had to really touch me, because when I was first born and growing up, it's like the women I found, the people I talked to, be women that didn't have no father figure or didn't have no father at all, because I feel like that I can fill that void because I didn't have my father. So I try to be a father to everybody else. Even my auntie and them, they be calling me granddad and all that, because even though they be joking, it came because I didn't have a father. So I felt like I had to take control of everybody else so they wouldn't have to feel what I had felt, that missing void. So I attracted females that didn't have father figures and things like that. But as I was growing up, things started to change, things started to shift. Because when I was in middle school, that's when I had hit puberty. So now that I hit puberty and stuff, it's like my emotions and everything started coming, because I didn't have a dad, so I had that anger now. And I can just say God, he started my journey there. Like, I remember I was always mad, I was always furious, I was talking to multiple females. And one day I was gonna get to fight with a dude in the hallway. It was like a big crowd. We had crowd up and everything. And I was telling them, I'm like, man, he doesn't know, but it is what it is now. I'm finna get ready and do what I gotta do. And it was a man. I never met this man a day in my life, never seen this man, don't know nothing of this man. He was telling me, he was like, from a distance, like he was from here, so I say like about 20 feet away. He was just telling me, he was like, calm down and stuff. And I'm like, it's a crowd full of people. I never seen this man in my life. I'm like, how you gonna tell me to calm down when this man, he wanted to start the fight? So I don't know what happened. It's like me listening to that man. I know what happened now. I mean, the power that God put into that man, he spoke to me and he could calm me down. And it was hard for me to express myself around him, because I mean, I never had a father figure to be able to express myself. Like, this is what I'm feeling now. And I was hurt. I was hurt bad, because I'm like, I always wanted to have a dad to play catch with, or have a dad to go run a football with, or play basketball with. So this man, he started talking to me, he started having counseling sessions, and I ain't gonna lie, it took me a long time. So I understand, like, when y'all going for God, like, it's gonna take time for you to start expressing yourself. It's gonna take time for you to get out there mode, just being alone. Like, all that takes time, but once you find somebody who's willing to help and listen, take that help and get that and listen to what they gotta say. Because I know people that's now, you can be up to 40 and 50 years old and you still holding on to something that happened when you was 10 or 13. Or when you was 8 years old, you still upset because your dad left you, or you upset because your mom left, or in other cases, You upset because did none just go out right? Like you could have lost both of your parents, or just anything could have happened. And I just want to say that, oh yeah, I look at the scenery. Yeah, it's pretty nice, yeah. When I was saying, when I was talking to the man, we started having the counseling sessions, and that's when God started talking through him to me. He started telling me things that I knew I had to open up. And once I started opening up, things changed a lot. Like, I remember, um, I remember a time where I was just fed up. I was just always mad and talking to him and he was telling me about God. I felt discomfort. And it was like the end of the school year anyway. So, um, he had invited me to a camp, and when he invited me to the camp, this around the time NLE Chopper, that rapper, he was famous. So people started saying me and him looked alike back then. So I used to get mad and furious like this. I'm like, bro, why is y'all comparing me to this man? But I went to camp and I met my future wife. Yeah, so and I'm glad to admit that God showed me who my future wife was when I was at a young age, and plus why the stage of me, even before I got saved, God showed me who I was going. And it's crazy how God works. When I went to this camp, we was playing basketball one day, and the team I had, we were just playing, we was hooping and stuff like that, and we about to get the fight. Never met the dudes on my team. We're not cool, nothing like that. We ain't nothing like that. We about to get the fight. And the people on my team, we stood in this brotherhood. It's like we stood all with each other. We like, nah, this ain't finna go on like that. And now today, that them boys, they my brothers in Christ and everything. Now, like Cameron, the one y'all seen on the last video, and Caleb and Ray, Noonie, all them. And then I even got a chance to meet my future wife, which is Najla. And she hit me with a lot of things too, even with just ground rules and just going through my journey with Christ. And the counselor, crazy to say, he is he helps me a lot. Like, he helped me go through a lot of pain and turmoil and everything. So with that, I ain't gonna lie, I had, because due to my father not being there, it was starting to break free. And then them chains I started breaking, because I wasn't just dealing with not having a father. I had to deal with anger. I had to deal with feeling misunderstood. I had to deal with trying to be a father to everybody else, trying to be there for my mom, trying to be there for my sister, trying to be there for myself. I mean, I started to lose my self-worth because I felt like I had to protect everybody else. And other things the devil started throwing to me. He started throwing masturbation out there. He started throwing porn out there. He started throwing like a lot of things at you. Like, don't get me wrong, the devil, like, he started throwing them, because it's a day of time. Like, if y'all just scroll down y'all YouTube right now, the first thing y'all gonna see is one man versus 20 women, or this and that, and things like that. Like, the devil, he torments everything. Like, being a father, that's not a bad thing, but he'll persuade your mind, make you feel like you gotta do this for everything. He'll make you feel like you gotta do that and that. So the devil, he twists things. And I can admit now that honestly, I was fighting against porn. I was fighting against all them things, because I mean, it was something empty, and I had to find something to like fill that void. And that lust spirit and all that, those things started to come to me at a young age, and it started to play with me, because it made me feel like that, okay, well, it's got to be a way I got to show love. I got to show love by telling females this and telling females that, trying to do that for a female, trying to do this for a female. Like, I feel like that I had to be 10 times better than my dad. But even though all that was going on, God was telling me, like, this is not my place. I can't be a God to nobody. And what I'm saying is, y'all can be a God to yourself. Y'all can't be a God to other people around you. You can't be a God to literally anybody, because it's not your space, it's not your voice. But you can help other people, but trying to be a God for them, that is not for you. And I'm listening to God, I'm like, God dang. And time started going on. God was just telling me, like, these folks that I thought was my enemy, they started becoming like a brother to me, because we started expressing ourselves and started showing love to one another. And as time started going on, I remember one day, it was right during that COVID season, I think 2019, 2020, around that area. Christmas is coming up, man, and that's why I started losing my all type of love for Christmas. I started losing knowledge, because, like I said, I didn't have my father, and I had to moving with my auntie and my uncle. So this one particular Christmas, God was telling me he coming to my life now, so things gonna start to happen. Things gonna start to change. So one night on that Christmas, I remember I was in my house and my mama pulled up and she was just bringing in gifts and she was just talking about get our gifts and stuff so we can get ready to leave. And I told Mom, I'm like, Mom, you just got here. Why we finna leave this safe place? This is our safe spot. My uncle always had been a safe spot. Like it don't matter what, God bless me had this safe spot. Come on, you think I'm finna go out there, go with my dad, and we can be around gang members, not have no home, no bed, and sleep on the floor? I had told him, I'm like, nah, this time, nah. And my mom, she started to go spaz out because she tried to please everybody else. My mom was trying to please my auntie, and my uncle, my grandma, my dad, me, her kids. I mean, she tried to take control of all this. So she spazzed out. She blew up. She blew up because she tried to be a god. Her doing it left my dad outside. And me, like I said, I try to be a father figure, so that dad instinct inside me kicked in. And many people don't know, I tried to kill my dad. So I had the gun in my hand and I was ready. I'm like, he's finna go. You done hurt my mama, you done hurted me for all this time. It's time for you to go. It's time for me to go ahead and end you right here. And I remember that my auntie, she came in there, she pulled me down and she was like, don't do this, please don't do this. She like, you got so much in front of you. And I was just thanking God, because I'm like, God, like I was gonna go crazy. I really wanted to, and I went through it so bad because I had that anger built up inside me. And every time I look, I feel like I couldn't grow with God because I kept on seeing his face. Everything would be going fine in my life, but as soon as I see my dad's face, I was ready to go crazy. That anger stuff just built up inside me. And I was asking God, I'm like, God, why am I so angry at this man? I was mad and angry because I seen myself. I seen what everybody told me I was going to be. They told me I'm going to be just like my dad. They said I was going to have multiple women. They said I was going to have sex with multiple women. They said I'm going to have a lot of kids and I'm going to be crazy, a lot of anger, all because the anger I had, they kept on portraying it as my father image. And I'm like, so you have something be like this? I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to kill this off right now. I'm going to kill it off and I'm going to be done with it. God told me right there and there, like, that misconception, like that ain't nothing but a family curse, and family curses have to be broken. And if I would have fell into that hole, I wouldn't be here to talk to y'all, to talk to nobody, and tell people like, bro, it's okay to understand whatever you going through, God is there. And that same night, I had went downstairs. I had called my pastor. My pastor was just like, God was telling him to get ready to call me and stuff and all that, and he just started preaching to me and talking to me and praying for me. And from that day forward, that's when my journey for Christ is started. That's what made me started like going after God, because God was my only comfort. Like even when I had the gun in my hand, I ain't had no remorse or nothing in the world. God sent somebody there to pull me down and tell me to stop. And I can honestly say that growing with God now has been one of the best things that I ever done in my life. And I advise for y'all to like really trust and believe, because like if I didn't have my brothers around me or my future wife or the counselor or my pastor or things like that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And being in a closed and sealed spot, that is not the thing to do. Like, so after this situation happened, the counselor, he started moving me into his house, like in a way, because I was still in school, so he started making it like events and stuff for me to come over to the house and kind of stay with him and be out there for days. And that bond I started to get with him, it was different. And I remember one day he had called me son. Man, from that moment forward, I knew what God was doing. Even though it seemed like I lost my real biological blood, he had a whole nother connection waiting for me down the road. But if I would never step my foot through the door, I would never got the connection where I'm at now. And when you growing for God, things don't get easier at all. I'm thinking that going for God, I'm like, okay, well, now God even bless me in overflow. He gonna do all them things, but just like how the God gonna do something, the devil gonna try to do something 10 times worse. And I remember one day the counselor, he was telling me, he was like, the number 666. It's like the devil, he has different levels of how he come. So if you in sin a lot and you in the world a lot, it don't take nothing but him to blow your tire out and you down and you depressed. And or it can just be you walk outside, you can start cutting somebody out. All those are like small threats. But as you go on, God proceeded to add on bigger and bigger levels. I mean, the devil, he add on bigger and bigger levels. So first he started off at 6, then he moved to level 66, then he moved to level 666. And I ain't gonna lie, going for God, he bring that whole 666 army. He bringing all his folks. He gonna come at you in every which way. And I'm wondering, I'm like, God, I'm not going for God like everything is gonna be cool and collect. No, it actually makes the devil want to come to you 10 times stronger, 10 times worse. And you'd be crazy. When you growing for God, you can outgrow a lot of people. And I remember God even told me, like, you gonna outgrow some folks. Not knowing it was gonna be the people in my family. I will outgrow some of the folks in my family, some of the closest people to you. It's not gonna be people around the world you're gonna outgrow. It's gonna be the people that you are closest to that you're gonna outgrow. You're gonna start seeing things what they really are. And I started to realize that once I wasn't in the world no more, once I had to leave the social media for I'd say 2 weeks. No, 2 months, my bad. Excuse me. And then I had this wanted to see like who gonna check up on me since I've been on social media for 2 months. I left, came back, it wasn't no text messages on there, it wasn't no how you was doing, it wasn't none of that. But then I made a post and everybody started flooding my stuff like, where you been there? Where you been there? Why you asking where I been there when I was going through that? And another thing I had realized, so during this time period of me growing with God, this year was supposed to be in the year, my senior year. It was gonna be the year I was getting prepared to move on to the next level in life, which was college. And I lost something very dear to me and very special to me, and that was my uncle. The only other man that he brought me into his home, even though we didn't spend, I would say, every moment of my life with him. He was still there to take care of me. I mean, he fed me, he gave me food and clothes and all that, but he still played the uncle role. He didn't say come in my life like, okay, I'm your father now, we gotta do no. He played the uncle role, but he still made sure I had food, clothes, all them things. And he sadly passed away this year, right before my football season started. And I'm like, God, what are you trying to tell me? Like, so so I'm getting ready for my senior year. And I'm just thinking, like, we just came from this family trip, and my uncle, he was talking about how he had some bad stomach pains. And I'm like, okay, like, he always have, like, we always have our stomach be hurt. I was going to the bathroom and stuff like that. But this time, it was different. It was very different this time. And we had came to the house and we were joking that night and the next day. And then morning he was laying there, he hurting so bad. Like, he just kept on talking about how bad he was hurt. He just kept on saying, like, man, I'm hurting. We laughing and joking about it. We're like, man, we must really ate something this time that got us like hurting like this bad. So I had went to school and all that, came back, and I found out he went to the hospital that night. And God was telling me, I mean, I didn't know that he was sick, but he went to the hospital and all that, and God had told me before I laid my head, and I'm wondering, I'm like, God, why you keep on telling me to tell him this message? Why you keep on telling me to tell my auntie and them to say this and say that? And I texted my auntie, and he had told me to tell them that the doctor come back with some bad news, and that you need to pray, and God got you. Watch what he finna do. So I'm saying, I'm like, okay, I mean, God, he gonna bring her back from being sick or something. Come to find out, the next morning they called me, and they had told me to come to the hospital and bring some clothes for him to take a shower. I'm like, some clothes? Why he need some clothes to take a shower? I mean, he ain't got a little stomach pain. And they came on rushing me to get there. Well, my auntie, she came on text me, telling me to hurry up and get there and all that. And I got there, and I ain't gonna lie, I never seen my uncle in the state that he was in, but it was crazy because it felt like I was just talking to him the morning right before. Because I mean, I stayed with him. I mean, I talked to him every single day of my life. I talked to him, and I mean, I ran downstairs every time he came home. I ran downstairs and tell him about my day in school, even when I was freaking. I'm finna be a whole grown up, finna be grown out, but I still ran at him still to tell him, like, okay, I did this today in school. I mean, I was on the football field, I made this move, I did that play, and Um, when I got up there, he was he was just he was just in a very bad state. Like he was moaning a lot, he was yelling a lot, and I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, he kept on telling me to tell you to get here. And it's like out of everybody else around, he kept on telling me to get there, and he didn't need no clothes or nothing. He just wanted me there. And I'm sitting there, and it's like everything just stopped. It's like the whole world was just stopped. And I'll never forget that. He had started going. He looked at me, and he was, matter of fact, he was hurting so bad that he had to go to the bathroom to throw up and stuff. So he had looked at me and all that, and he had laid on that bed, and he just, I don't it's hard for me to say everything, because I mean, it's still fresh, it just happened. But he started going into cardiac arrest, and me sitting there, I had gotten to a state of shock. I couldn't grab him or nothing, and I was like, God, don't let this happen and stuff. Got the news that the doctors, I'm like, why am I rushing here? Why am I not coming here? Why am I not seeing what's going on? And he passed away that day. And the only thing my auntie kept on telling me was he wanted you here. He wanted, like, out of everybody. I mean, we got people all around. He know over a whole group of people, but he made sure that I was there, and he seen me. And what I can say, God had blessed that man to be in my life, because I mean, he gave me a car. I'm gonna put it right here so y'all can see. That's the guy he had gave me, and he never tried to play that father figure role in my life, but he was always there no matter what. He came to all my football games. I mean, I lived with him. He provided us food. He provided me clothing. He provided everything that my blood father couldn't do. He provided all that. And just to get a phone call and lose that supporter, that person that I love so much, that I lost all that in literally in 1 second. We were just laughing the morning before. And I was telling God, I'm like, God, like, what do I do now? I mean, like, you just hit me right for my football season. You hit me with this. It took me a long time to try to get over and get past it, because it was just, oh man, it hurt. But I had the dream. He kept on appearing up in my dreams, and he kept on smiling, and he was teaching me things even in my dream that I didn't even know nothing about. And I would tell my auntie, what about this and this and that? And this man, he was literally talking to me in my dream. And I don't know how many people are gonna take that. He was talking to me in my dream and telling me things to do. And I had got up one day, and I got back on the football field. I had lost a love for football, and I was telling people, like, man, I don't even care about football no more. The only reason I'm doing this is because of God and my uncle. And God gave me the ability to drop. My stats this year was 107 tackles, 82 single tackles, and 12 sacks, 32 tackles for loss, and just, I had an amazing year this year. And I was just telling God, I'm just thanking God, because like, God told us that, like, for you to gain something, you're gonna have to lose, and you gotta go through a lot for you to get your blessing. I'm not saying that you're gonna lose things big to you every single time, but you gotta go through to be able to get to your blessing. And God said it was a time for everything. It's gonna be a time for war, it's gonna be a time for peace, it's gonna be a time to cry. And it was crazy to say that if I wouldn't have gone through like this, I don't know where I'd be at right now. I mean, I lost the freaking man that gave me everything. And the man supposed to gave me everything, he wasn't even there. So I turned my head one day, and I looked, and my counselor, he was there, and he grabbed me, and he was just telling me, like, how he gonna be there for me and stuff. And God was telling me that the only reason I didn't have a father then, because he was preparing a man for me later on in life. And now the man he's in my life, he's helping me a lot. I mean, he go by the name of Twin, but he helps me a lot. And I'm just here to say that when you growing with God, that the people you have around you, gotta use them assets and them tools Because even my future wife, I tell y'all any day, like I know for a fact, this is my future wife. God told me and everything. I have a conversation. Y'all gonna see her in many videos. And having her helped me a lot too. And come to find out that my future wife was the daughter of my counselor. That's a whole nother story. But due to all that foundation God was preparing for me, can't nobody in the world tell me there wasn't God. And this healing journey, it takes a lot. And it's gonna be a lot more y'all gonna see. I'm gonna keep on preaching y'all and telling y'all, like, to go after God, you gotta be able to reveal yourself and express yourself and tell people where you at, because once you do that, God is able to come in, he able to move and shift things. And I want to say, even though I lost my uncle, that kind of grew me to be the man I am now. Because I mean, losing him wasn't always the bad thing, because he implanted so much in me. God got that man the ability to plant everything I needed. I see my dog. Look at him. He think he a little killer dog or something like that. Like he trying to protect me. But yeah. So being able to communicate with God and tell God that what you need, he gonna provide for you. And life come with many different challenges. I mean, ain't no telling what you might lose, ain't no telling what you might gain. But you gotta start somewhere to get out this healing process. Because I was holding that pain there for 5+ years, but I could still have this same pain now. And this all is gone. And I'm trying to advise y'all that when you growing with God, let your pain and stuff go. Be honest, be vulnerable. Just let everything off. And that's my mission for today. And I love y'all. I hope this helps somebody. I hope somebody learn from this. I hope somebody grabs God for this. It's going to be many more videos coming. And I love y'all, my family. And we out. Take it out your feeling. You can get